very good evening to all my audiences and my fellow colleagues who are here with me today. Welcome to another episode today with us, where we are just talking about the experiences because we strongly believe in observational learning. So, in psychology, if I have to say, observational learning is a concept because of which we tend to learn what we see around us and what we observe around us, as the name rightly says, observational learning. So, modeling or observational learning plays a very vital role in our lives. So, that's what we decided to come up with this very episode, where we are going to ask our fellow colleagues over here today about what they feel as to how math has been for them during their years of their education and how they think it could have been better or it was not just appropriate or apt for them. So let's find out. But before we begin with that, we'll just have a small introduction. So we have Rekha and Armaiti with us. They'll let us know what they do with our company, igebra.ai. So Rekha, please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Siriam Rekha and I'm the business development trainee.
Armaiti.
Hi, I'm Armaiti and I also am a business development trainee over here.
Great. So since we have you both here and as I've given you a brief, I strongly believe that observational learning plays a very vital role. Kids often tend to learn what they see around us. And that's why we emphasize a lot on the right kind of environment for them, be it education, be it their nurturance, or be it other things. So, Rekha, talking about math, how has your experience been?
Math for me was always something very scary to be honest, because from childhood I am from a convent basically. So from childhood, I've been under a very regimental type of an environment. So, performance was of utmost importance. There were no interactive sessions like how we have these days.
Right.
So there was a lot of pressure right from the word go. And I was okay with other subjects, but coming to mathematics, somehow I was very stressed out. I still don't know what is the reason, but I would always feel extremely stressed out.
All right. So this often happens before the exam or before a test. Usually kids get very nervous. They're very fearful of the subject math because they feel they're not able to recall the formulas, they're not able to recall the equations, they'll forget and everything just goes off. And that's why I think because of this very reason, a lot of kids also experience performance anxiety, due to which they tend to fail in the examinations. So talking about this subjective experience, we move on to Armaiti. Let's see how math was for her.
I've always been good at studies. So all the subjects were pretty much just cool movement from me. But maths, I don't know, somehow certain concepts had always it just used to flummox me. So I think I'll give you an example of a class. I think I was in class 2 or 3, and I did addition, subtraction, and I think even some multiplication quite easily, very and get good marks. But there was a particular exercise called ascending and descending. I'm sure you all are also familiar with it.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I couldn't understand how to do it, and I would always score a 0 in that very test.
I was very good at ascending and descending.
It just wouldn't get in my brain, and I don't know. The teacher expected me to be to know the concept right from birth. She would understand, she has to tell how ascending and descending is, and I wouldn't. She didn't have that much of time or maybe even the inclination to sit and explain what it is until a friend of mine just drew steps on the paper. She said, "Ascending is going up, descending is getting down." So that simple thing, just that simple visual, a simple explanation made me understand the concept, and that was like that thing stayed in my mind. And that's how, when you asked, so this is the first thing that came to mind, that something in the past, that a small incident like that has stayed with me for life. So yeah, definitely when people point out to you in a simple language which you understand, then it makes a higher impact.
Yeah. That's so true. I remember when we used to do ascending, descending, stairs was always a very good example.
Yeah.
Where they used to show you have to climb up and you have to get down. So that's how you do ascending and descending.
Exactly.
Yeah, even I could recall that. All right. So now I would like to ask the two of you about any memorable or any funny incident related to math where the meaning of math just changed for you. Rekha.
I have a very, very funny incident. Excuse me for even sharing that. I was in, I think, standard six, sixth class. And then there was this guy in my colony who had a crush on me. He was in 10th standard. So he gives me my first love letter in my life. And that is, I think he was in 10th. So he was already introduced to the concept of sets in mathematics. You have those intersection unions and all that. So my first love letter, he wrote in that language, his name and my name, union is equals to whatever. So when that love letter came to me, and because it was written in that math language, it was like jargon. Then I had to go to my elder brother who was already in 10th, and I showed him what does it mean. And then the concept of that sets was, introduced to me in sixth class. And you'll not believe it, when I actually came to 10th and when I attempted the question, I always used to get good scores in that because it sat here.
You'll never forget it.
I'll not forget it. Even today, at this age, if I'm, telling about it, I can never imagine my first love letter would be in mathematics.
That's interesting, isn't it? That visual played a major role in your life. Okay. So, Almighty, any memorable, any funny incident that you can recall of with math?
Mine was not romantic. Mine was not even funny. It was terrifying. Mine was terrifying. Class 8, I remember. You have these small algebraic expressions of 5x plus 5 is equals to something like that. So small ones were okay. So the teacher wanted to test out how well we knew the subject of algebra. And I'm from a convent, and in a convent in our class, there were 60 odd children, all odd girls, okay? And somehow she could just pinpoint that I'm the only one who didn't know the algebraic expression. She would ask me to come on the board, and every time I went to the board, I would be blank. Even a small three-term algebra would be, like huge rocket science for me at that time. So later on, again, someone who could explain it to me in a very simple way, drew arrows and understood that you first multiply the sign, then you multiply the number, then the expression. So that's how you could understand what it was. So that had stayed in my mind. I still remember the teacher. I remember the day. I remember the classroom going silent because I had to walk all the way till the blackboard and write. But then gradually I grew over my fear of maths. Slowly started liking that subject because I started understanding it and doing more and more, solving more and more of it, and went on to take tuitions and become a kind of a math teacher for lots of people. So I liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have two experiences with us. One is romantic, one is terrifying. So these experiences are definitely subjective. So even our audience would have some subjective experiences with them. So it can be either of them or it can be something entirely different. So I want to ask you now, what do you think the meaning of math today is, or any last words as to how do you feel the importance of this subject is as of now, as of today? So
I
any
feel-
last words?
Yeah, I feel, we didn't have the right kind of exposure as far as math is concerned. I remember I had so many tutors coming and teaching, and a tutor would come with what solution for a problem. So
Right.
that made me extremely confused, and I lost interest in math. That is one thing. And see, today I'm able to grasp all the gadgets I'm able to operate. So, we need to have good exposure, is what I feel.
All right. Okay, so that's one convent person saying. Okay, so by the way, all three of us are from convent schools.
Convents. Yes.
We understand the regimental.
Exactly.
That created a pressure, I think, altogether. So that's why the environment plays a very vital role.
It does. It does.
Yeah, if there's this unnecessary pressure built, it just goes off. Like 12th standard boards, they are so hyped. But now if we walk that path, now we feel, oh my God, that was nothing.
And see, now we have online help, okay?
Yeah.
Anything you have online help, you can always go online, check whether you'll have an
Yes.
assessment as to where you stand.
Right.
We didn't have this kind of situation back then, right?
Yeah, we had R.D. Sharma, I remember. Those
Yes.
books, oh my God. And girls were literally mugging it up for no reason, I feel.
Yeah, that's the actual, that's where the mistake lies, wherein
Yeah.
by rote method is what we have been taught, traditional method. So we never understood why, how, what is to be done when. We just know, okay, acha, this next step, next step, next step. So if there is
Right.
even a single change over there, then we are done. We know, okay, we don't know, we are getting zero in that. So that's the problem. Actually, our way of teaching is not the right way, traditional way. We need to upgrade it now. I think it's high time.
And
At least,
nobody told us now that math is so important for everything.
exactly.
We use it in statistics, we use it in economics, we are using it in architecture. There's so many faculties in which we use mathematics.
Right.
Back then it was not told to us that math is very
Math-
very important a subject to learn. So I think
Yeah.
after 10th most of us left maths.
Right.
I
Even I.
left. I'll tell you. I left it after seeing in 11th standard the trigonometry chapter. I saw how complicated it. I said I'm not touching maths after that. I just couldn't.
I
And
did.
I left it, even I left it at grade 11 when I saw the logarithmics books and how
Yeah.
to see the tables. I said, okay, I'm going to CEC, and I went there. So
I think we were
it's
all
sad.
introduced with this tan cos theta in 10th grade, which
Yeah.
created that fear already. And in 11th, everyone used to scare each other. It's very difficult.
Trigonometry, because that was the basis. That was one of the
Yeah.
main topics. Yeah, so everybody was little worried about that. That
Yeah.
and probability. There is no. I mean, if now that I know that when you flip a coin, like I learned right now in igebra, I learned the
Yeah.
concept of flipping a coin or spinning a wheel and understanding probability. If the teacher had taught me that way, then I'm sure I would have learned that concept.
Definitely. I think it's just hype. Even in boards, people didn't get marks in math during my years, and it was so terrible for so
Your,
many people.
your
And
intelligence is always measured by your math marks. How is it
Marks,
possible?
exactly.
You're intelligent in so many other ways. Why the
That-
judgment that only who can solve math are intelligent? It's not like
exactly.
that.
right. So that's there. So I think everyone should face their fears. We couldn't get a chance to have such methods, which we
Yeah.
have in igebra now. So I think that online help and so much of hybrid mode that we are into now is definitely helping us to grow better and move one step ahead. So, like we feel age is no bar for learning, so I think all the audience out there should also feel the same and overcome their fears instead of leaving their problems like we did in 10th grade. They
Yes.
should rather take it up and have a better basis for their understanding because math is omnipresent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
They will require it because math, going ahead, math is going to be the, the foundation for everything ahead. So they'll have to.
Now that help is available online, even teachers know that if they fumble or do anything, the kid will always check it online and come back.
Right. Right.
For us, whatever the teacher told was the ultimate.
Yes.
Golden words, finished.
Ultimate.
No questioning against that. Okay, so that was great. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I hope our audience could relate to all of us in somewhere or the other and gain their kind of learning, their type of learning from us, and feel that how math is omnipresent and it's not something to scare them, but it's a way where we say that always you should overcome your fears, your set of fears, acknowledge them, and find solutions, right?
Right.
So thank you so much for being there, Rekha and Almighty. It was great talking to you. So I'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charvi. Pleasure always.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.